तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। यः, one who Shatarudriyam, the Shri Rudram, the chant, Adhiyate. Adhiyate means adhite. This is also Chandasam. Nobody says adhiyate. Adhite means, no, adhite means usually to study, but here it means to repeat, to chant. The one who repeats Shatarudriyam, let's see what all happens. Saha, that person, Agniputo bhavati. It's almost like going through a trial by fire. You become purified, as you know, nothing purifies like fire, correct? Yeah. Fire is a purificatory agent, like that's why all the surgical instruments are sterilized, you know, they are put through fire, and fire purifies. And even the food, if you cook it, it becomes a certain, it gains a certain purity, all the germs and everything die. So likewise, the fire of fires is Shatarudriyam, the invocation to Lord in the form of Rudra. The word Rudra means the one who cries, the one who makes you cry by giving these karma phalas that you don't want. One who makes you cry is Rudra. Yeah. Rodayati, the one who, the one who makes you cry because of giving the karma phala. And then Dhru, the one who, it means the one who makes the karma phalas flow. The one by whose grace all the tears flow away and there are no more tears. This is what Shatarudram. Tomorrow you are going to watch it. That is why the valedictory ceremony, part of the valedictory ceremony is the chanting of the, that's what I said, there is a surprise, the chanting of the Shatarudram and the Abhisheka. So you can see how it is done. And you can, get the benefit of that. So at least once we can do that. So that is what we are going to do tomorrow, a demo of what is there in this verse. This is a demo. And so here, so the Lord that makes you cry and also wipes the tears, correct? Yeah. In the form of your own karma phala. And so this Rudra is a manifestation. Antaka, it is called in the sense of the one who resolves everything in terms of the whole Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Trinity. But we really don't care about the Trinity. Rudra is Bhagavan, that's what it is. We transcend that. When you say Rudra, you transcend that. The one who the giver of the karma phala, that is the only thing that is invoked here. And so the giver of the karma phala, what is happening here? When this chant is done beautifully, and it is so perfect, it has 11 chapters and then called Anuvakas, and then you chant all of them, and then what happens? It is like going through a trial by fire. You go through the test of fire, and it makes one very fiery also. In a certain sense, the tejas increases in the body, in the mind, that there is a certain brahmavarchas that comes, a certain a glow. That is what is said here, elsewhere. And Saha Agniputo bhavati. So they have gone through the trial by fire, so they are purified, as it were, by fire. Surapanat puto bhavati. And so if they have done in this life or other lives great violations of the Vedic injunctions, here what is the violation? Adharma. Like Suram na pibet. Please do not drink alcohol, it is said in the Vedas. So if supposing somebody, as a result of that alcohol binge, has hurt other people, emotionally, mentally, physically, caused an accident, caused a hit and run, not this last life, who knows? Surapanat puto bhavati. So from going against that injunction, one is purified. And then one is purified also, Brahma hatyat puto bhavati. Let's say somebody did a hit and run in the last life, and then, killed somebody who was harmless. Brahma hatti means the killing of a Brahmana. The Brahmana is the Upalakshana, an example for someone who is very harmless, because all they are doing is studying the Veda. And if you kill such a person, it is seen as a very heinous crime, correct? So here, even if you've done such a heinous crime in the last life or any life, you are purified of that. It's very beautiful. It is so wonderful. So you are purified of all the most of the heinous of karmas, And then what? Kritakrityat puto bhavati. Kritakrityat means all other omissions and commissions. Nameless omissions and nameless commissions. And who remembers them? Even in this life, you don't remember what you are not doing, correct? Your own omissions and commissions you have forgotten in this life. What to talk of last life? All the people that were hurt, all the people that were offended, all the people whose rights one trampled upon, all the people whose privileges one did not care for, all the people who were exploited by one, all these things, nameless omissions and nameless series of omissions and commissions, which have racked up a nice karmic bill, is completely, the bill is made, it's like the IRS, you don't pay the taxes, and then suddenly the IRS finds that you have not paid the taxes and slaps you with a big bill, correct? Yeah. Then what to do? Chant the Shatarudri. So here Chitragupta is the IRS, has slapped a big bill to endure, a bill of endurance, a bill to be paid in installments in many lifetimes. All that this removes. Yeah. The loan itself is forgiven. That is what it is. This is a powerful prayer of atonement, and we need atonement because without this atonement there is no knowledge possible. The atonement makes one humble, the atonement keeps one in the place of learning, and the atonement is what gives one the courage to move on, really, because one is otherwise racked with guilt, and that guilt has to go. So this is a psychological cleansing because it removes the guilt from the heart, and it removes the feeling of victimhood, the guilt and hurt. Guilt means my own omissions and commissions. Hurt means other people's omissions and commissions towards me. All that is gone. Kritakrityat puto bhavati. Putaha means, purified. Yeah. In certain Spanish and other languages, puta has another meaning. That's not the meaning. Puta means purified. From pu to purify. Yeah. And then, tasmat avimuktam ashrito bhavati. Avimukta here, mukta means what? Just now I told you. Who is mukta? Animals. Very good. Animals are mukta. Correct? Yeah. Very interesting, muktaha rahitaha vimuktaha. Tebhyaha vyatiriktaha avimuktaha. So, avimukta, see, mukta means free. Avimukta means never free, correct? Yeah, so Bhagavan is called avimukta. No. The one who is separate from those muktas that we talked of earlier in the form of the pashus, the jantus, all these other forms than the human beings who don't have a complex, the Lord of all of them, correct? The Lord of the muktas is separate, is amukta. In that sense, I centered on the self. Therefore, I thought surrender to Bhagavan. And Bhagavan says, please go to someone else. I have my nice meaning. So beautiful. Very beautiful. I just love this. So here, let us read this bhashya, this tika, very nice. So it says that, muktaha, here, let us read this. Avimukta, the adjective, shastrokta charan muktaha rahitaha. So that which is free of being mukta, correct? Yeah. Vimuktaha pashavaha. So those which are vimuktaha is pashus, correct? So because they don't need to be freed, they are already free in this life of what? Of the insecurity centered on the self. They are free. So the one who doesn't, who is not a vimukta is avimukta. Yeah. So then, avimukta, tebhyaha vyatiriktaha avimuktaha. In other words, Pashupati. There is a great temple in, there are two temples in Nepal. One, the famous temple is called Pashupatinath. And then there is even in the higher, rarefied air, in the highest areas of the Himalayas, they have Muktinath. So both of them are there, Muktinath and Pashupatinath. Lovely. So Pashupati means Pashunam Patihi, the one who is the Lord of all these muktas. And these vimuktas means Visheshena Muktaha, means for this particular, Visheshena means they are free of reading the Shastra, they are mukta from that, they are mukta from the complex, they are mukta from the pursuit, they are mukta from kartritvam. So, all these ways they are muktas. So, therefore, they are Visheshena muktaha, means specially mukta for this life, they are called vimuktas, the one who is different from them. Yeah. Virodhe nanj. See, the negative in Sanskrit has many different meanings. So, here it's the opposite meaning. Meaning the one who is separate from them, not them, completely not them, is called avimukta, which is Pashu, which is Pashunath, Pashupatinath. Pashunameva patihi. So this Pashupatim ashrito bhavati. So one and why this particular name for Bhagavan is given? Rudra is invoked as Pashupati, no problem. But here when you surrender to Rudra, all the bestial portions of you are surrendered. The Lord of the beasts outside, and the Lord of the inner beasts in the form of Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya. 6 beasts one can unleash. Correct? Yeah. What are those beasts? Unbridled desire, anger, delusion, pride, greed, avarice, and then jealousy. These are the 6 beasts that one often unleashes. Correct? And then there are other bestial tendencies in the form of raga, dvesha, defensive mechanisms, etc. All that is depicted as the little child lying down under Dakshinamurti's foot, and one foot the Lord has, and actually it's not a child. It looks small, but when you go closer, even though it looks like a child, it's got a moustache, it's got the defensive mechanisms in the shield and the offensive mechanism. Correct? Yeah. And these defensive and offensive mechanisms, what do? They just completely, make one unavailable for the knowledge. The teacher says something, the student misunderstands. All the time there is projection problem, transference problem, psychological issues. So the knowledge is not internalized. So therefore what? Just like he is the Lord of the beasts, this Rudra is the Lord of my inner beasts and the inner children who are not available for reason. And these beasts that will want to graze in the pastures of desires when one is actually needing to study. These beasts who are wild, who cannot be, tethered, only through the grace of this Avimukteshwara. There is actually a temple somewhere in Ujjain, I think, Avimukteshwara temple. So this Avimukta is a beautiful, it's not accidental here. The Lord is called Avimukta because he makes these wild beasts and bestial tendencies within me comely and cute so that they are manageable. Yeah. When I surrender all my inner beasts, they become tame. He is the tamer of the inner lions and tigers and cheetahs and all these hyenas and raccoons, everything that I have. In the form of all these wild animals, the intractable Prakrita Buddhi, he makes into Samskrita Buddhi, and his grace makes it available for knowledge. So I know how to behave with others, I know how to behave with the teaching, with the teacher, with myself, with others, so that I am always in a position of being teachable. This is the greatest blessings of the Shatarudriyam. It is so beautiful. And so therefore what? So therefore Atyashrami Sarvada Sakridva Japet. Sarvada means all the time. Atyashrami means sannyasi. And this is the only chant that sannyasi is allowed to chant. Really all other prayers it says you give up. But Shatarudriyam, sannyasi is told keep chanting. Amazing. Because all that is there for the sannyasi is knowledge. So keep reveling in the knowledge, keep going deeper, keep getting nishtha, keep chanting. Sarvada means what? All the time. Sakrit means occasionally. So one may chant all the time if one is a sannyasi because there is no other job for the sannyasi. Yeah. Or one may chant Sakrit, and the Tikakara, Sakrit doesn't mean once in a lifetime you chant. The Tikakara gives a caveat. It says at least once a day. Once means kabhi once in, once a year, no. Once a lifetime, no. Sakritva Japet means at least once a day. the person who is a householder, it takes about 20 minutes to chant this, 15-20 minutes. Atyashrami chet, asakrit means all the time. And then let's see, the householder, he gives a very nice meaning to the word sakrit. Sakrit kadachit va divase ekavaram. Yeah, divase ekavaram, at least once a day. Don't take it as kadachit, means once in a while. No, and atyashrami, atyashramaha ukta paramahamsasya lakshanam saha asya iti atyashrami. So the one who is a paramahamsa sannyasi, the one who is a sannyasi may chant all the time, and then the householder may chant at least once a day. And sakrit va japet. So this is a powerful block remover. Yeah, if you are blocked, this is like the Drano for the Antahkarana is the Shatarudriyam. When the drain clogs, correct? All the water accumulates in the sink, and then you don't know what to do, correct? And all the other prayers are like little plungers. You take the plunger and go up and back and forth. The Shatarudriyam is like Drano. Yeah. It just cleans out not just the drain, but all the pipes and everything. Clears the pathway for knowledge. And when the pathway is blocked with the residue of karma, karmic residues of old, peels of vegetables, who knows what all one puts in the kitchen sink, correct? Vegetable peels and all these other debris and yesterday's tea leaves and tea bag and everything. The poor drain cannot hold it. So like this, the yesterday's longings, yesterday's longings, today's belongings, all these things are just in the Antahkarana. They have clogged up the Antahkarana, leaving no space for Bhagavan to be revealed. And you chant the Rudram, it's like a powerful Drano that just cleans out the entire Antahkarana, so that one is available for the knowledge. Provided one does this every day. Really, there is nothing other than this. Atyashrami means sannyasi. Nazira, sannyasi, the one who is a renunciant. Atyashrami is sannyasi. Okay? Yeah. Now, atyashrami sarvada japet, and then grihastha ekavaram divase ekavaram japet. At least once a day you chant. Okay. Then next one. अनेन ज्ञानम् आप्नोति संसारार्णवनाशनम् तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं कैवल्यं फलमश्नुते कैवल्यं फलमश्नुत इति Anena means what? By this. Third case. By what? So many things we have studied. Anena jnanam apnoti. By this the knowledge is gained. What is that? What is this? Very vague this Upanishad is. What is this? This means what? Not all of the above. Anena prakritena. By this, what is under discussion? What is under discussion? Shatarudriyam. By this Shatarudriyam Jnanam Apnoti, the Upanishad has the alacrity to say that by just repeating Shatarudram, the power of it is such that you will gain the knowledge. Meaning what? What is needed to gain the knowledge? You need teacher, correct? You need the preparation, right? So even if you have, and what is here the necessary and sufficient condition? You need pramana, teacher, and the antahkarana, prepared antahkarana. So what is the necessary and sufficient condition? You can have the best of teachers, you can have the best of wonderful Upanishad bound books, you can have the best of opportunities to study, but still nothing goes in. Why? What is not here? Pramana can be handled properly. What is missing? Yeah. Drano is missing. Antahkarana is clogged up. Yeah. Antakarana is clogged up, plus the unconscious is bubbling up, because sometimes in the clogged sink, all the little air bubbles from all the peels and the chai ki patti, all these things which are clogging, the tea leaves which are clogging, sometimes the air escapes and bubbles from inside. Yeah. So the unconscious starts to talk. The unconscious is the receptacle of the unquestioned, uninterrogated, unenquired storehouse of fears, desires and childhood problems, really. That is the unconscious. That has to be interrogated. And that is why the Shatarudram is wonderful, because it talks of Bhagavan in all forms, all names. You appreciate that. You appreciate Bhagavan. You say, Namaha Taskarebhyo Namaha. The Bhagavan in the form of the thief. What can Bhagavan steal? Your own Papa Punya, your own Papa, the one who steals. Namaha unto that who is the truth of everything. Namaha to the dried leaf in the form of, who is Bhagavan in the form of the dried leaf. Namaha to all the greenery. So Namaha to the desert. Namaha to the waterfall. Everything. Namaha, 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 Namaha. In fact, another name for Shatarudram is called Namakam, because it is a series of namahas. And I think that the Muslims in India, they call their prayer namas. I think it is from namas, really, to surrender. I really think that's what it is. They call it namas, that 5 times they pray, no? It is called namas. Only in India, no other place. Other places it's called roza and other things, but in India it is called namas. Yeah. That is because it is come from namas, indeclinable surrender. How beautiful it is. So therefore, this is that complete surrender to Bhagavan in whatever form you are. Whatever form you are, Namaha unto you. Namaha unto all those things that I cannot change. Namaha unto all those things I wish I could transform but I cannot. Namaha to the beasts of my own mind. Namaha to the wild beasts that reign in the place of peace. Take these beasts away. Namaha. Heal this inner child. Namaha. Help this person to come, have a certain level of togetherness. Yukta. Make this person yukta for the knowledge. Make this person somewhat come together. Namaha. So this Namaha is a very, very powerful prayer. It is the Drano that clogs the Antahkarana. It's the spiritual Drano. Yeah. Rudrano, you have to say Rudra. Yeah. Rudra, which is Drano. Yeah. Drano for the Antahkarana that is clogged with all kinds of, residues of fears and desires. Fears, tears and desires. This is the clog. And so all the yesterday's commissions, day before yesterday's omissions, lifetime after lifetimes of karmic block, everything is powerfully removed without a trace. So, anena jnanam apnoti, that's why the Upanishad says with so much confidence, through the Rudram you will gain knowledge. Really, will I gain knowledge by chanting Rudram? Yes. Why? Because it will prepare the mind, and Upanishad is assuming that you are well equipped with a teacher and you have a computer with a high speed connection. So the Upanishad is assuming that. So assuming all this is there, the only block is really the internal block, your own block. The inner beasts have to be mesmerized, have to be, tamed. And the taming of the inner beasts can happen very, very beautifully with a Shatarudriyam repetition every day, with the Sri Rudram. And that's why we are going to show how it is done tomorrow. And you also call it namas? Okay, maybe it is much more universal. I really feel it has come from namas only. Wonderful. So therefore, this is something so beautiful. And, and of course in Persia there is a lot of influence from India, Persia, very close. That is also possible. So therefore, anena jnanam apnoti. What kind of jnanam apnoti? Samsararnava nashanam. Samsara arnava. Arnava means ocean. The ocean, the converting the ocean into an ocean. So the destruction of the ocean of samsara. Notice that the Upanishad doesn't say samsara arnava taranam, means it doesn't say crossing of the ocean, lest one thinks that the ocean is real and it has to be crossed. No. The ocean is not real. The ocean is a notion. And to remove the notion, I need to chant the Rudram with devotion. To relegate the ocean of samsara to but a notion, I need the help of devotion. So with devotion, the ocean becomes notion. That's what it is. It is so beautiful. And then we have, so this mithya ocean is relegated to the level of is falsified. It's just a notion. Samsara arnava nashanam. And then tasmad evam. And because the samsara ocean has been what? Crossed, not even crossed, has been destroyed. Because of that, viditva enam, because the result of this is what? Tasmat, therefore, evam viditva, having known this enam here means atmanam, having known this self, tasmad enam viditva, evam enam viditva, don't get confused here, enam atmanam, evam prakarena, knowing enam means atmanam, how? Evam prakarena, in this format, knowing this atma in this format. What format? As non-separate from everything, as the truth of oneself, as Bhagavan. Evam viditva kaivalyam phalam ashnute, gains the fruit of oneness. Kaivalyam phalam ashnute iti. So it is repeated twice to show that the Upanishad has ended. Because in those days it was all oral knowledge. Verbally it was given from teacher to student for a very long time, and only later, much later, it was written down. It was this writing down and all was not there at all. Much later it was written down. So kaivalyam phalam ashnute, kaivalyam phalam ashnuta iti. So with the help of swaras and repetition, the student would know and the teacher would know that this is the end of the chapter, this is the end of the teaching, this is the end of the Upanishad. So that's why it is repeated to show, samapti artham, to show that, padabhyasah upanishadah parisamapti artham, to show that it is ended, it is repeated. So what is this kaivalam? Kevalasya bhavah kaivalyam. We have to see this. Oneness. Kevala means onlyness. That alone is. Nothing else other than that is. What is that? You. That is that Chaitanya, that Shuddha Chaitanya, free of omissions, free of commissions, free of karma, free of papa, free of punya, free of waking and the waking state and the waking world, free of the sleep, being a sleeper and the sleeping world, free of being the dreamer and the dream world, the one who sustains everything without being anything in particular, the one who is the limitless canvas in which the Jagat unfolds, the one who is free, totally free. And everything depends on one for its existence. So it alone is the source of Sat, it alone is the source of Chit, it alone is the source of Ananda, it alone is. So the person who came to study was a lonely fellow, was suffering from loneliness, correct? I am separate from everything, I am disenchanted, nobody understands me, nobody loves me, nobody likes me, all these problems. So from onlyness, one went to what? From loneliness, one went to onlyness. Onlyness doesn't mean that Brahman has a problem. I am only there, nobody else is there to play with. No. This onlyness happens to be the truth of the entire Jagat. That which upholds everything, that which is totally self-contented. The lonely person is lonely, not because there are not people around. Even when in a room full of people, you can be lonely. You don't have to be alone sitting on a rock in the Himalayas to be lonely. Yeah. Even there you can be crowded. Why? Because there are so many characters in your head. You don't have time to be lonely. You are arguing with yourself. Or you can be in the company of a room full of people. You can be lonely. So the loneliness is a condition of ignorance. Correct? It talks of insecurity, it implies fear, it implies a disconnection from the whole, it implies that there is some misunderstanding, and it implies disenchantment and dissociation. And then the onlyness is the opposite of loneliness. Wherever you are, you only are. And when you know you only are, all other things can easily be accommodated because they are as though extension of you. Like the pot, if it knows I am clay, is not threatened by the existence of a million pots. If the ornament knows I am gold, it is not threatened by a million ornaments existing in time or place. Correct? Yeah. Because it knows the shine of me belongs to gold. My existence is nothing but gold. So therefore the replacement of the I from as though connected to the body mind sense complex is repatriated to that which is the cause of the universe. That Brahman, that Bhagavan, which is Kevalaha, alone it is. And Kaivalyam, that oneness one enjoys. That oneness with everything, and that everything being one, all there is oneness alone, without a second. So that without a second one enjoys, and phalam ashnute, eats the fruit of oneness. Eats the fruit of oneness means what? Enjoys that oneness as the truth of oneself. So Kaivalyam phalam ashnute iti. Om bhadram karnebhi shriniyaam devaah. भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. And since the knowledge doesn't end, we read the beginning again. Atha Ashvalayanaha Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasametya Uvacha Adhihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtham Sada Sadbhihi Sevyamanam Nigudham Yayachirat Sarvapapam Vyapohya Paratparam Purusham Yati Vidvan. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. There are a number of links to listen to the Sri Rudram. I can also send you one, not a problem. You can get it online. If you keep listening, you will get it. Yeah. I will take any questions that are there right now. Yeah, Prashant, send me your reflections. I want to read it tomorrow, or you can read it yourself. Okay? Yeah. Ananta Shayanam means the one who is always at rest, in repose. In repose means no stress, upholds the Jagat effortlessly, who is limitless. Jnanadevatu Kaivalyam. Yeah, through knowledge alone this oneness is achieved. That's what it means. I have missed the explanation of Viditva Enam. Viditva means having known. Enam is Atmanam, oneself, knowing oneself. Yeah. That's all. Any other questions here? Yeah, thank you for allowing yourself to take this. That is a big thank you. Yeah. That everybody, do that. When you say reflections, yeah, what you learnt, what you gained, yeah, you please write and send. Yeah, I will also send you the link, not a problem. Yeah, write about it and send it. Both Harish and Prashant, you can send it today. And tomorrow, during the valedictory ceremony, we can read it. Yeah, I am sorry that you will miss it too. But you will be with us in spirit. Yes, and very big thanks to Ramakrishnan, Sri Ramakrishnan, who has enabled this wonderful classroom for us. Big thanks to him as well. Is that the link I need to listen to the lectures? Yeah, you can do that. Live stream link.
So we can go back to the live stream.
Yeah, everything is there. You can go back to the live stream link. All right. I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah, that's okay. You can go back and listen. No problem. I will see you all tomorrow at 8:30 our time. Okay? All the best. Om Namah Shivaya.